Today's story is about an arson incident that occurred in Hino City, Japan. On December 4, 1993, a fire broke out on the 5th floor of an apartment in Hino City, Tokyo, Japan. The house belonged to Harada, his wife, and their 2 children. On the morning of the incident, Harada went to work in a car driven by his wife, leaving only the sleeping children at home. Someone entered the house while only the children were there. This person spread gasoline throughout the house and lit it with a lighter. The moment the lighter was lit, a large explosion occurred, and the children could not escape. The daughter, who was 6 years old at the time, and the son, who was 1 year old, were unable to get out of the house and tragically died. This incident is the worst case of arson-related murder in Hino City. After the incident, a woman came to the police station to confess. The culprit of the incident was 27-year-old Kitamura. Kitamura was born on August 7, 1966, in Tokyo. Her father ran a printing business, so she grew up in an affluent family environment. She was envied by her friends since childhood for her excellent academic performance. Not only did she excel in academics, but she also received various educations such as dance and piano, excelling in all areas. She entered a prestigious university in Japan after graduating from high school, and her college friends said she was not only smart but also had a good personality, often attracting attention from male students. She was diligent in everything she did and got along well with people around her. Many male students wanted to date her, but she had no interest in dating and focused on her studies diligently. After graduating from college in 1989, she joined the Nippon Electric Company in Japan. After a few months of training, she started working as a system engineer in the software department. She ended up working alongside Harada, who was in the same department. Harada, 7 years older than Kitamura, was handsome and good at sports, making him popular among the female employees in the company. Kitamura began learning work-related information and tasks as a system engineer from Harada. As she learned from him, they naturally became close and started dating. However, there was one problem: Harada was already married with children. He told her he never intended to marry his wife originally and that they didn't get along well. In the fall of 1990, Kitamura and Harada's relationship deepened, and she acquired a house in Hino City where he lived. She told her parents that she needed to move to reduce her commute time to work. Kitamura, who had never experienced a proper date before, was very happy to have new experiences and be in a relationship with Harada. Harada had been married since 1987 and already had children. While he was dating Kitamura, his marriage continued, and his wife was completely unaware of the affair. In April 1991, while he was on a date with Kitamura, his wife went through a difficult time having a miscarriage with their second child. Later, on Kitamura's 25th birthday, they enjoyed a fireworks festival with Harada. Afterwards, they went to Kitamura's house, where Harada told her that he didn't love his wife and wished she would die in a traffic accident. Kitamura believed him completely and thought he was a pitiful person. She began to dream of a married life with him. About a year later, Kitamura became pregnant with Harada's child and told him, but his reaction was contrary to her expectations. He persuaded her to give up the child since his situation wasn't good at the moment, and she followed his words. A few months after Kitamura gave up the child, Harada casually mentioned that his wife was pregnant, which shocked her. She was very sad because she had lost a child while Harada's wife was expecting one. Meanwhile, Harada's wife went to her parents' house for childbirth, and as soon as Harada left for his wife's parents' house, he went to Kitamura's house and lived with her for a month. Kitamura told Harada that she wanted to sort out their relationship, but he asked her to wait a little longer as he would soon divorce his wife. She believed him and began dreaming of a happy married life. Kitamura hoped Harada would divorce, but he kept delaying and making excuses. In April 1993, Harada told Kitamura that he would bring up the topic of divorce with his wife. However, he didn't bring up the topic and avoided Kitamura at work, heading straight home after work. She waited endlessly while she found out she was pregnant. Although she was pregnant, she didn't force Harada to divorce her. She knew he wouldn't divorce and decided to end their relationship. She gave up the child again and parted ways with him. However, a month later, Harada's wife coincidentally found out about their relationship. She pressed the redial button on the phone to call her friend, but it connected to Kitamura's home phone. When Kitamura answered the call, Harada's wife started suspecting their relationship. Although there was no solid evidence, Harada's wife persistently questioned him about his relationship with Kitamura as soon as he returned home. Initially, he refused, but when she insisted on asking Kitamura directly, he had no choice but to tell the truth. He confessed their relationship to his wife and also admitted that Kitamura had been pregnant twice. Angered, Harada's wife told him to call Kitamura immediately and tell her that he never intended to divorce his wife and that their relationship was just a fling. He reluctantly called Kitamura and said what his wife asked him to say. His wife blamed Kitamura, calling her a woman who had killed 2 children. At that time, Kitamura tried to understand why Harada's wife blamed her and felt remorse for her mistakes. However, Harada's wife almost daily called Kitamura, insulting and blaming her. What Kitamura couldn't bear was when Harada's wife insulted her for having had 2 abortions. That insult was something she couldn't tolerate. This led Kitamura to severe insomnia and a weight loss of nearly 40 pounds. With continued verbal abuse and blame, Kitamura became exhausted and made a decision. Kitamura still had the key to Harada's house that he had given her before. With this key, she headed to Harada's house. Knowing that Harada's wife always drove him to work, Kitamura waited until they left the house and used the key she had to break into Harada's house. She wiped her fingerprints off the door handle with a towel and then took out gasoline and a lighter she had brought along and set fire to the house. Suddenly, an explosion occurred, and Kitamura fainted but woke up and fled the scene. However, inside the house, Harada's 6-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son were sleeping and tragically died in the fire. After the incident, the police began investigating, and Kitamura was suspected. She told everything to her father, and as the police closed in on her, her father advised her to surrender. In February 1994, she went to the police station with her father and surrendered. The trial began, and people criticized her. Her lawyer argued for a reduced sentence, stating that she had no choice but to have 2 abortions due to the continuous insults and curses from Harada's wife, which had severely affected her mental state. However, Harada's wife claimed that she never insulted or cursed Kitamura. In January 1996, she was sentenced to life imprisonment. Currently, she is serving her sentence in a prison in Tokyo, while Harada and his wife have moved on, having another son and daughter. This incident inspired movies and novels in Japan.